one of the biggest things that entrepreneurs do is project assumptions onto the world about what the world wants. And then they're fighting uphill to try to sell it, instead of finding out what the world wants and finding out where they are also fit in that world that they can't wait to fill. Because if they can't wait to get up and do that service and they know who they're really committed to serving, there's a spontaneous growth process that goes. But you have to be honest with yourself. And that's why when I ask people what their values are, they'll tell me integrity and truth and peace and all kind of social idealisms. But what I watch in their life, I'm interested in what their life demonstrates. And once I see what their life demonstrates, now I know how to set a goal that's going to be done. Because anytime you set a goal that's not congruent with what you value most, you are designed psychologically, neurologically, physiologically, to beat yourself up and have doubts and fears because you've got a fantasy of a goal that's not really truly congruent with what you value, and it's not balanced and it's not mitigated all the risks. So a real goal is something that's objective, it's balanced, it's aligned with what you value, and it falls into one of three categories. Something you have control over, which is something you can perceive, something you can decide, or something you can do. Many people set goals. I want to make $1 million. That's not a goal. If they know that they do, for every 10 interviews with people, they close one sale, and each sale is $1,000, and they know it's 1 out of 10, that means they have to have a goal of something they can control. And that is a goal of sitting in front of people. If $1,000 is 1,000 times 10, I need 10,000 people sitting in front of me. And I need to break the goal down into tangible things I truly have control over. But if you set a goal that's not tangibly controllable, you're destined to beat yourself up and frustrate yourself. So knowing what the values are and knowing what you can perceive and decide and do to set real goals that are objective make a difference in productivity. And many people are setting fantasies. I noticed that in the 80s when I went to about 1,000 doctors' clinics in the 80s and watched offices and saw what they were doing. And I had people saying, I want to go golfing 2 times a week. I want to practice. I want to have $1 million practice. I want to practice 4 hours a day. I want to do this. And I want to charge this amount, and I want to spend this amount of time and everything else. And it was all over the place. There was nothing congruent, and there was no possibility of doing all those things. But these were all their little fantasies. And so I would sit them down and go through methodically and making sure that each of those things are, one, doable, and clean out the debris, and then strategically things that they had control over, and then things that then had accountabilities. So either we'd have to link it to their highest values, or it would have to be already in line with their highest values. Or we have to delegate it to somebody to get it done, because it's not always what they have to do. Once we did, their business automatically went up, because they didn't have fantasies and they didn't have their own roadblocks, because the brain will delete anything that doesn't have fluidly congruency. And it's not congruent. It beats itself up by having this bullshit meter go off and saying bullshit, 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 because it's not really truly to you. So that's why I've spent so much time on values, because it's the cornerstone of making achievement.